Ba ba ba, please read the screen because I'll explain why the audio for this video really sucks. I'm sorry. Okay, bye. Hey, hello, it's Jen. I'm going to be showing you how to play Easy by Ayres. If you want to know what ukulele this is, by the way, I get comments sometimes. It's actually made out of carbon fiber, which is really cool. I always list down all of the models of the ukuleles that I own down in the description, so feel free to check that out. Yeah, let's get right into it. So for this one, there are like a really good amount of chords. I'm going to list the chords that this song uses down below right now. And if you know how to play all of these chords, feel free to skip ahead to the timestamp I'm going to have below right now. But if you don't, there's no need to fret. I'm going to show you how to finger all of them. So yeah, so the first chord you need to know is F major 7. One of my favorite chords actually. I'm going to go to the 5th fret for that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally most ukuleles will have a little dot there. So yeah, you're going to bar that chord, bar that fret down, and then you're going to put another finger down on the 7th fret, so 2 down on that bottom string, so it looks like this and it sounds like this. I love that chord. It's a little bit hard to play when you first start, but just keep trying. I'm sure you'll get to it. And then the next chord you need to know is F7. F7, so let's start off with the 1st fret. Put a finger down on 2nd from the bottom string. Then move on to the 2nd fret, put a finger down on the top string right there, that's the G. Then move on to the 3rd fret, put a finger down 2nd from the top, the C, and then put one down on that bottom string, the A. It's kind of a really weird shape. Another one that's kind of tricky when you first start playing, but keep at it, keep at it. If I can do it, you can do it, and it sounds like this. It's a really cool sounding chord. Cool. And then the next chord you need to know is D minor 7. This one might be a little bit more familiar. You're going to create that classic D minor shape first. So if you don't know what that is, put your pointer finger 2nd from the bottom string, 1st fret. Move on to the 2nd fret, put fingers down on the 2 top strings, that's the G and the C. And what makes this one a little bit more special is you're putting your pinky down on the bottom string on the 3rd fret, and it sounds like this. It sounds jazzy. I love it. The next chord you need to know is a D, really basic chord. So let's go to the 2nd fret right there. You're going to put fingers down on the top 3 strings, and it sounds like this. Next you need to know G minor. G minor, you're going to put your finger down on the bottom string of the 1st fret, then move on to the 2nd fret, put one down on the 2nd from the top string right here, then move on to the 3rd fret and put your finger down on the 2nd from the bottom string, and it sounds like this. Sweet. Next you need to know C, probably the easiest one of all of these. Go to the 3rd fret, put your finger down on that bottom string right there, that's the A, and it sounds like this. Ta-da. You need to know D flat. This one's going to be really tricky for you newbies. I won't lie, but if you can just get it for a tiny bit, you're not going to be playing it for too long, so yeah, but let's do it. So you're going to bar the 1st fret entirely, and then you're going to put your finger down like 3 frets over. So it's going to be like 1, 2, 3 right there. So on that 4th fret, put a finger down on that bottom string while barring that. And I have a hard time doing this myself without the capo being moved up. But it sounds like this. Oof, see, I'm struggling. It sounds like that. But it'll actually be easier with the capo, which we're going to add in a bit. I put the capo on the 1st fret, so. But if you don't have a capo, you can always tune your strings a little bit differently. We're just going to do it with the capo because that's how I did it in my cover. But if you have any questions about that, just leave them in the comments and I'll try to get back to you. Yeah, so let's start off. So with the verse, I actually just started off strumming, like down strum, so no strumming pattern just yet. Just follow along looking at the chords. I'm gonna have them somewhere on the screen. It's gonna help you a lot. So let's go. F major 7. Oh, you heard what they say. Oh, the more things change, the more they stay. And we're gonna stop there because then it moves on to the strumming pattern, which, by the way, is down, chuck, up, chuck. I know, I'm sorry, I just love chucking, so that's why I always include it in my songs. But it's down, chuck, and then you move it up 3 times fast. So it's like down, chuck, up, chuck. So down, chuck, up, chuck. But if you don't know how to chuck, you can always replace those chucks with down strum. So it can be down, down, up, down. See? So it's down, down, up, down. But I'm going to continue with the chucking because that's what I did in my cover. That's the strumming pattern I used for the rest of the song. I did the more they stay, and then with that G minor is when I start the strumming pattern. But you can always start it earlier or later if that's what you want. So let's move D right here. The more they stay, then G minor, down, chuck, up, chuck, and switch. Ain't that a shame? And it's also important for me to mention that you're doing that strumming pattern, then down, chuck, up, chuck. That one, you're doing it once per each chord, except for the F. At least in this verse part, but we'll get on to the rest of the song in a little bit. So for example, let's do it again. So the more down strum they say the same, chuck, up, chuck, and again switch. Ain't that, and this is the F, so twice. Up, chuck, down, chuck, up, chuck, and then I've been good, chuck, up for some time. I'd be lying if I said that you ain't on my mind. So you hear it, right? It's like once per each chord. I've been trying to give it some time, except for the F, which is what we're playing now, again. And then it moves on to the pre-chorus thing, and this is the one with like the weird D flat chord. So it goes, feeling like I'm running away. And so remember that thing I told you about the strumming pattern? So you're actually doing the strumming pattern twice for each chord in this section. So you'll see what I mean. So you're playing D flat, F, and then D flat, and then at the end you're ending with a C, which can be a down strum. So this will make sense whenever you get to it, so like actually play it. So D flat. It's gonna be a little bit easier to play now that the capo's here, but it's like hard for me. I'm struggling. So it sounds like this. Feeling like I'm running. Oh, sounded weird, right? Oh, wait. So you do it twice, and again, chuck, up, chuck, and I never had the chance to say down strum. So let's do it again, except I'm just gonna say the strumming. So feeling like I'm run, up, chuck, down, chuck, up, chuck, down, chuck, up, chuck, and a down, chuck, up, chuck, down, chuck, up, chuck, down, chuck, up, chuck, down strum. And that's that part. And then you move on to the chorus or the hook, and that one, you're doing the strumming pattern one per each chord, no exceptions, and then at the end you can always down strum like I always tend to do. So let's just kind of, since you already know the chords at this point, I'm just going to sing through it. We can follow along together, look at the thing I'm going to have somewhere on the screen. So, I can say that, G minor, I can say that all things you is easy. So one per each chord. I don't need a proof. My voice is cracked. I don't need a proof a single thing. Somewhere along the way, I guess you got under my skin. And I put all my cards out on the table. You ain't ever gonna show your hand. And I would rather hold you in my close than try to understand. That was a little rough, but you get the idea. You're basically doing that strumming pattern once per each chord, and at the end you can down strum, and that's the chorus, and then you go back into the verse, but it's the same thing as the first one that we played together. And I'll make sure to have the tab down below in the comment section, pinned, hopefully. Sometimes it doesn't let me do that for some reason. But so you can take a look at that. It's going to have the lyrics and the chords and everything you need. But yeah, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!